It's the wonder of nature, baby! Woo!
You sure this is the right place to recruit for a militia?
God save King George!
I think we came to the right place.
Son of a bitch! Damn it, you can't, aren't I? I'm a colonel. Nasty little cuss.
Now I become Death, the Eater of Burger.
We reenactors, we pride ourselves on being completely authentic. Ronnie carved his own buttons out of black rubber. And Artie, his underwear, made out of horsehair.
Hi, man.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking wine and eating cheese and catching some rays, you know.
What's happening?
Well, the tank's broken and they're trying to fix it.
Then why the hell aren't you up there helping them?
Oh, man. I only ride them. I don't know what makes them work. Huh?
We will rise against the British and the Indians and the French.
No. Yeah? No, not the French.
Not the French. Sorry. Yes, the French.
Hello, Mr. Watanabe Generico. Would you like to buy this conveniently cheap slave?
When in Rome, do as the Romans do. I guess I have no choice but to buy a slave.
No! You can't barge into my mansion just to burn it down and free my slave harem!
Face the judgment of the Lord, slaver!
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Uncut History. Yeah, we just shimmy on over, and then we can start the official stream. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. I apologize in advance if I'm pretty low energy to stream. Life is lifing me. Life is lifing me. That is a good thing. That's a good. Not a good thing. It's a good thing to live. Not a good thing for life to lifing you. Okay, I've already lost the plot already. Well, tonight we're gonna talk gibberish. I didn't really have time to think of a good topic for this week, and there were many little things, little nuggets that went down since last time we've talked that I wanted to talk about, but neither of them really made for a feature-length live stream. So screw it, let's just do them all at once. And that was my philosophy. Oh, and the lights just got really bright all of a sudden. I don't know why, but they did. All right, so without any further ado, let's just hop right into the first story tonight. And I don't actually have it set up yet. I'm just great. I'm just peaches and cream right now. Here we are. Ah, yes, trains. Trains are back on. Readout Productions. Exciting. So exciting. So, first story tonight deals with CSX Transportation and their attempt at heritage units. Now, you're probably all wondering what the heck I'm talking about. And I think that once I give the whole backstory, the payoff is going to be worth it at the end. I promise you, the payoff is going to be great at the end. All right. I have to add 2 more banners here. Hold on one moment. I got to get my trusty water. Got to get my water break banner in. And also tonight, got to get my beer break. Well, both tonight. But our first story, what I have dubbed Chessie Commemorative Chaos. Or actually, it should be Commemorative Chessie Chaos. It's too late. I can't do grammar tonight. So, CSX Transportation have been starting to repaint some of their locomotives to honor fallen flags, which is a term rail fans use to describe railroads no longer around. These fallen flags were absorbed and eventually created what is now CSX Transportation. Now, so lately I'm interrupting the stream already. I've been getting some lovely phone calls from a Clean Sky Energy. Can you all see that there? I don't care. They've been spamming me for 2 months. Sometimes they change their name too. Sometimes they're another energy company. They keep calling me. They don't get that I'm going to pick up. One of these days I should pick up. Should have picked up right now, but they hung up. We could have given them some interesting questions, interesting conversation. And boy, before we're done tonight, I don't know if I'll say the interesting conversation I had. We'll see how much I drink. So, back to Chessie Commemorative Chaos. One of the fallen flags that led to the creation of CSX Transportation was the Chessie system. And in a sense, the Chessie system was an attempt to try to sort out what happens when you merge 3 of the largest rail companies on the eastern seaboard. That's the Baltimore and Ohio, the Chesapeake and Ohio, and the Western Maryland Railroad. The Chessie system, they used this moniker for about 15 years, from 1973 through the end of the 1980s. And then when they absorbed a few more companies, they became the CSX that you know today. Now, one of the things that people knew the Chessie system very well for was something they actually carried over from the Chesapeake and Ohio days. And that was the Chesapeake and Ohio's mascot, Chessie, which was this little kitten that would be curled up on a pillow. And conveniently, it kind of made almost a perfect C. So if you look pretty close in the image there, look at the nose of this locomotive. Do you see Chessie? Do you see the kitten? You might see it a little better on the side of the locomotive where the C, the spell, the whole moniker is. So it's a moniker that has a warm heart in rail fans like myself. Actually, I got a T-shirt with the logo somewhere, and I should have worn it for the stream tonight. Well, too late now. Well, so as I mentioned, CSX, who are pictured here, that's a locomotive from CSX today, have been starting to do heritage locomotives. Now, Norfolk Southern, one of their rival railroads, they did heritage units about 10 years ago. I think there was like 30 heritage units in the Norfolk Southern roster. And what a heritage unit is, you paint your locomotive in the color scheme of a fallen flag. So an example would be for Norfolk Southern, one of the railroads that they own the rights to would be the Pennsylvania Railroad. So there's a locomotive on the Norfolk Southern that's painted like the Pennsylvania Railroad, not the state. Well, it is kind of the state. Pennsylvania Railroad, arguably the greatest railroad, the most successful railroad company of the 20th century. So people have been asking for years if CSX will do something different. And there was a while where all CSX did, they put these little logos of the fallen flags, like on the corner of the nose. It was so small that you had to get up there with a magnifying glass to see it. No, that was their heritage unit. But in 2023, they have begun releasing full body painted heritage units. I think they've done one for the Baltimore and Ohio, the Chesapeake and Ohio, the Seaboard system. There's a 4-4. Oh, they did one for Conrail. We should do a video on the Consolidated Rail Corporation. What happens when the government tries to save the railroad business from imploding in the United States? Yep. And then the 5th one is one for the Chessie system. This is their heritage unit for the chassis system. What do you guys think? Before I go in and get my own opinion, what do you guys think of the comments? Do you like the look of this locomotive? Do you not like the look of it? Do you frankly not give a darn? Probably that's going to be the real answer. But I give a darn. What about me? I give a darn. So this is CSX's chassis system heritage unit. Now, a lot of people in the railfan community have been ridiculing CSX's heritage units, where Norfolk Southern entirely paints them, nose and all. There's not a single Norfolk Southern logo on it. CSX is insistent on having their logo on the nose, and it's only the sides and the rear that's painted in the heritage scheme. I don't necessarily have a problem with this. What I do criticize is this fade that they're doing. It just doesn't look natural. It looks like Photoshop. I feel if, and it's going to sound weird. It's a little hard to see the photograph. You see how there's like a block here? I think this is where some of the alternate current units are, something like that. There's some electrical equipment out there for that reason. This block where the fade is, if that remained blue, CSX blue, and then the upper half, which is indented in the background, if that had the heritage scheme, I think it would look a lot better. That's just my personal opinion. A compromise between the corporation and us rail fans. They did this awful fade. It just looks like it's a Photoshop. I still like it overall. Well, last Thursday in Georgia, in a rail yard in Georgia, not far from where a rail fan convention is occurring right now, somebody found this in the rail yard. This photograph was taken by Steve Harden. And yeah, they don't come manufactured like this, folks. Somebody went into the rail yard overnight and decided to spray paint the Chessie Cat logo just on the nose, mind you, just on the nose of this locomotive. Damn fine graffiti job, if you ask me. Now, Readout Productions does not condone vandalization. But man, this is a pretty good paint job. I've heard a theory that it wasn't like vandals that broke into the rail yard, but rather it was the train crew got in early and decided to paint the nose. Nobody knows for certain what happened. But anyways, this is the unofficial heritage unit, the People's Heritage Unit, if you will. And as an added bonus, this locomotive 6914 actually dates back to the days of the chassis system. So you can actually go find photographs of it painted in the original chassis system scheme. So far, it's been doing local service around this rail yard in Georgia. I don't know what's going to become of it. I've heard that they're going to try to get to the shop as soon as possible, and everybody's like, please, everybody's whining. They don't want it to be repainted. It's going to happen. The CSX is going to paint over it again. But wouldn't it be funny if they came out and the whole thing was painted? So it's like, or what do we, no, it would be even memeier in a darker sense if CSX took the 6914, took it into the shop, and it came out with a chassis system heritage scheme, the corporate heritage scheme. So, yeah, this is how I'm entertained. Little crap like this. I think it's entertaining. So, that is the case of the chassis commemorative chaos. Before we move on, yeah, I got one of them tabs. I like having a tab. Guess it doesn't matter. It's not going back. It's never going back on the shelf again. All right. Now, we do have to move on. We do have some unfortunate news, and it does still tie in with the rail fan community. So this week, John Helmstetter, former owner of the farm located on the Western Maryland Railroad, has passed away. He was the third generation owner of the landmark known as Helmstetter's Curve and is fondly remembered by rail fans. So this is from trains.com. We're just going to read right from it. Cumberland, Maryland. John Helmstetter, the third generation owner of the farm for which Helmstetter's Curve on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad takes its name, has died at the age of 81. He died August 15th. His family farm at Corriganville, Maryland, about 5 miles west of Cumberland. Corriganville. It's in Corriganville. Oh, I always thought that was Bellevue, Bel Air. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. His farm was a popular site almost from the time the Western Maryland Railway opened its line through the area in 1912. The family placed the farm up for sale in 2019. Long a friend to rail fans, Helmstetter was known to use his heavy equipment to clear brush and trees to maintain views for photos. Fans returned the favor in 2009 when the Helmstetter Farms Red Barn featured in many photographs burned to the ground July of that year. Free photo freights operated by the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad helped support the John Helmstetter's Farm Fund, with Helmstetter greeting passengers on each. Those trips, other donations, and support from neighbors and local businesses raised $41,000 to cover barn replacement costs never covered by insurance, and the barn was rebuilt in a barn raised in November of that year by over 120 Pennsylvania Amish. He was born on April 13th, 1942. Helmstetter was the son of late Clement J. Helmstetter and Mary Barley Helmstetter. He was preceded in death by his brother Donald and sister Ann Stallham. He is survived by his brother Clement F. Helmstetter and his wife Judy, a sister Rose Maria Armbruster, and numerous nieces and nephews. Visitations will be Thursday, August 17th, 4 to 7 at Adams Family Funeral Home in Cumberland. Burial Mass will be celebrated at Our Lady of the Mountains Parish in Cumberland on the 18th, tomorrow. And there's a photograph, not the best photograph. It doesn't really give you the nice sweeping view that the curve has. I've only went to the curve once. I've been neglecting going down to the Western Maryland. It's really not far for me. It's a day trip for me. I can do it no problem. But I've only actually stopped at the curve once to get photographs. But the one time I was there, it is a breathtaking view. So rest in peace, Mr. Helmstetter. You will be missed. All right. What topic should we discuss next? I think I know one. We will talk about the Battle of Fallen Timbers. Yeah, that sounds like a good topic. Yeah. By the way, thanks for everybody who's been watching the recap, the replay of the Battle of Wilson's Creek. That seemed to do very good. The anime streams floundered, but the Wilson Creek one has been doing good for my streaming standards. So it seems like you guys like it when I do live talks about battles. So I actually was originally going to do the stream just on the Battle of Fallen Timbers, but I just didn't have the time to gather information. My work schedule's been was a little different this week. I've been working consistently all week. I haven't had any days off, so I didn't have time to sit down and research. But doesn't mean we can't mention that on August 20th, 1794 was the Battle of Fallen Timbers. So the anniversary is coming up this Sunday, correct? Yeah, this Sunday. It would be this Sunday. Did you see me popping my calendar out? All right, let's read a little bit. This is from FallenTimbersBattlefield.org. The Battle of Fallen Timbers occurred on, we already know that, August 20th, 1794. It was the final battle of the Northwest Indian War, during which Native American tribes affiliated with the Western Confederacy and their British allies battled against the United States for control of the Northwest Territory. This impressive monument to the important battle is across the Anthony Wayne Trail from the actual battlefield. A bike pedestrian bridge connects the two sites. Owned by Ohio History Connection, the monument is situated on a bluff overlooking Sidecut Metro Park and the beautiful Maumee River. Click through we got a virtual tour. So the battle was waged on August 20th between the American Legion, not that Legion. No, they didn't go to the American Legion and knock on the door and say, hey, you guys want one more good fight? Although, to be fair, those guys would probably give one hell of a fight. When I talk about the American Legion, I'm talking about the reorganization of the United States Army under the command of General Anthony Wayne. Mad Anthony Wayne, is he more famously known. He got a start during the American Revolution, but he kind of gained the Mad moniker during his time out in the Northwest Territory. We have talked about the Northwest Tour on the channel before. Not really last year. Earlier this year, I did a 3-part series, part of Construction Paper Battlefield, about St. Clair's defeat, or the Battle of the Wabash, which is still to this day the highest percentage of casualties ever incurred by the United States Army in a single battle. It was a horrible battle. It did not go well for the United States. Went well for the Native American Confederacy. However, the Native American Confederacy that decisively defeated General Arthur St. Clair in 1791 and drove the U.S. Army out of the Northwest Territory, the Confederacy could not keep cohesion. Cohesion broke down, leadership fighting ensued, and in 1794, Anthony Wayne came back with a restructured United States Army and took advantage of the now weakened Confederacy. And at Fallen Timbers, near present-day Toledo, Ohio, he was able to decisively defeat what was left of the Confederacy and force various native tribes to surrender the Northwest Territory to the United States of America. And what we're talking about when I say the Northwest Territory, I'm talking about present-day Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, that huge swath of land. And well, the reason the United States won it, minus the obvious, the population's growing. The plan was the U.S. government would move into the Northwest Territory, kick all the squatters out, then turn their guns on the Native Americans, force them to give the land over to the United States, and then the U.S. government would turn back to the people they just kicked out and sell it for the top dollar so they can make bang for the U.S. government. Nothing's ever changed, folks. Nothing's ever changed. Now, just something equally interesting of the Battle of Fallen Timbers, and I'm hoping to go out to Toledo, do a retrace in history on this battle. I really want to go out to Toledo. I know you're probably thinking, Toledo, Ohio, what the heck's out there for a historian? A lot. There's Fallen Timbers battlefield. There is the ruins, well, not much, but still the ruins of Fort Miami's, which played a crucial role in this battle. It was a British fort, and during the battle, the British had promised the natives support. Well, when the natives fled from Anthony Wayne, they ran to Fort Miami's, knocked on the door and said, okay, guys, come out to help us. And the British are like, ooh, about that. You know, we're having cold feet, having to go fight the United States. And kind of left the natives to their own devices. Yeah, not pretty. Not pretty. But there's also Fort Meigs. Fort Meigs overlooks the Maumee River. It's from the War of 1812. It's this massive fortification I want to go visit, but unfortunately, they're not open in the winter, and that's the only time I'd be really able to do it. So, fortunately, I don't know when we'll get down to Toledo, but someday we'll go to the Fallen Timbers. But what's so interesting about this site, for many years, it was thought the site of the battle had been lost to history, that the Maumee River had swallowed it up. So they put this in the late 19th, early 20th century. They put this big monument to Anthony Wayne. And let's read a little bit about it. Oh, 1929. This is recent. Clarissa Cook Moore, daughter of Daniel F. Cook. Oh, Clarissa Cook Moore, daughter of Daniel F. Cook, protector of Turkey Foot Rock in 1897, donated a high bluff for the monument site to the Ohio State Archaeological and Historical Society. The bluff overlooked Turkey Foot Rock and was thought to be the site of this famous battle. Bruce Wilder Saville, I'm probably mispronouncing that, Saville, a graduate of Ohio State and veteran of the First World War, was the artist chosen to create the Fallen Timbers Memorial. He modeled the monument in the heroic neoclassical style and first worked from a plaster prototype before the final model was casted. So I know Anthony Wayne's in the middle, and I believe we have a native warrior on the left, and we have I guess you want to say, American frontiersman on the right, so representing the Native Americans that once lived in the Northwest Territory and the frontiersmen that would soon to live on it because of Anthony Wayne's victory. So it's this beautiful monument, overlooks the Maumee River, and they figured, it's appropriate because this is the final stop for, we can't preserve the battlefield, right? Well, some people did some digging. They started poking around on the other side of the highway behind the view here that we have in this virtual tour. And I believe it was around the late 90s. They started poking around, and they discovered, wait a minute. All the descriptions of the battle talk about being fought in this ravine next to the Maumee River. Well, there's no ravine down over the hillside. There's a ravine right here, kind of perpendicular to the Maumee River. And after archaeological research was done, enough items were found to justify calling it the battlefield. So the battlefield was not lost to the Maumee River. The battlefield was lost to land development. So you can see here, it's kind of hard to see in this photograph, but you can see the Maumee River. You can see, I think, maybe we can find a better photograph. Yeah, Spencer. Duh, readout. Down here, you can see the Maumee River. This area down here, Fallen Timbers Trail. So down around here is where the monument is, overlooking the river. And then over here, where you see Fallen Timbers Battlefield, is where the archaeologists determined that, yes, this is actually the location of the battle. And it's been a collaborative effort between the National Park Service and the Metro Parks of Toledo. They've been buying up land and trying to preserve it into a city park. And right now, there's a visitor center there. There's nothing in it. I don't know what they're doing with it, but there are the actual trails that go through the battlefield are pretty well marked, and I think they do some living history events throughout the year. So this is the area of the Fallen Timbers. And why is it called Fallen Timbers? Well, there was a freak rainstorm that blew through the region just a few days before the battle, and the natives used the logs for cover when the American soldiers arrived. So the red blocks signify Wayne's line of battle. And then you can see here the brown representing the believed to be Native American line of battle. Would have wished there had been a little better. There's a trail. Visit. I was hoping for an actual virtual tour, but oh, here we go. The park entrance. So yes, this, and I think it was only recently, like 2015, 2016, that they finally finished the interpretive stuff at the park. It finished putting up the signs, and there's this big walk bridge that goes over the ravine, which was quite the obstacle during the battle. Oh, we got some photographs here. Image taken during the 225th anniversary of the reenactment, representing members of the Kentucky militia that were part of Wayne's forces. U.S. Legion Forces location pre-battle. By August 18th, Wayne's troops had reached Rochedebont on the Maumee River and set about building Fort Deposit near what is now Farnsworth Metro Park. Just beyond this bridge is where the main body of Wayne's Legion gathered as it moved into position to meet the Native Americans who had been in position since August 19th. Between finishing construction and a thunderstorm that moved through the area in the morning of the battle, Wayne's troops got a late start to their march than originally planned. These delays had a negative impact on the native forces of the Western Confederacy, who practiced a fasting ritual to get ready for the battle. A near 2-day wait for Wayne's troops to arrive left many of the warriors hungry and dehydrated. Some left to find food, and others went to check on their families following the thunderstorm. Interesting. Ooh, this looks pretty. Archaeological artifacts from the battle. The battle was originally thought to have taken place on the floodplain near the area where the monument was erected. When British forces burned D.C. on August 24th, 1814, during the War of 1812, many of the primary records through the Battle of Fallen Timbers are lost. Wow. In the 1980s, archaeologist G. Michael Pratt conducted research at Fort Miami's reviewed period journals, including General Wayne's firsthand accounts that hadn't made it to Washington and were spared from the fire, and performed an analysis of military strategy, which led him to theorize that the battle encompassed a wider area than previously thought. The announcement of a pending commercial development within this expanded area spurred further archaeological analysis to pinpoint the location of the battle, and in 1995, Dr. Pratt's investigation yielded significance that the battle took place above the floodplain in this prairie area. Some of the artifacts uncovered during the survey are pictured below. The groupings of which artifacts were found helped determine this to be the actual site. So there's what I was talking about, the artifacts that they located. Various rifle balls of the right caliber that Wayne's troops would have been equipped with. Oh, we even got part of a side plate from one of the muskets, trigger guard. Yeah, definitely the battle site. Spent bullets. Oh, federal battle site. It's the battle site. So I'm going to drop a link in if you want to do some more exploring through the Fallen Timbers Memorial. Was it the Fallen Timbers Battlefield Foundation? I'm going to drop that link here one moment. You should definitely do some digging. It's a very important battle that was fought. Not a lot of people talk about the Northwest War. It's one of the most important wars fought in American history. Changed the map for late 18th century United States of America, and why you have Ohio today. Take that as you will. So there's the link. It's been pretty quiet in the chat tonight. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a breather here. You know what it means. First, we're going to do a water break. Yeah, we'll do a water break this time. I'll be a little healthy. All right. Next. Really, what is next? Oh, this topic. I didn't know if I was going to talk about this or not, but screw it. It's funny. So this comes from the Daily Wire. I was trying to find as moderate of a source as I could find. I couldn't find any, but a lot of people have been reporting about this. So take this with a pinch of salt, but I am entertained. Native American group threatens national boycott of Washington football team, doesn't change name back to Redskins. So, for those that are in the know, I think you're all in the know. There was once the Washington Redskins. They were Washington, D.C.'s National Football League team. I believe they actually got their name because they used to be in Boston. And that's why they were called the Boston Redskins, allusion to the Minutemen fighting with Native warriors. And when they moved to Washington, it just kept the title. Well, in 2020, they removed the title, and then in 2020, they were called the Washington Football Team. They were called the Washington Football Team, and then I think it was just last season they agreed on the Washington Commanders, and I think their mascot's a freaking pig right now. Their mascot's a pig, and they're in DC. I love it. I love it. I love it. A Native American group has threatened a national boycott of the Washington Commanders unless the NFL team reverses course and changes its name back to the Washington Redskins. The Native American Guardians Association wrote on Twitter that the group, along with its founder and president, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Eunice Davidson. Man, I really struggle with the English language. Eunice Davidson have sent a letter to the Washington Commanders ownership and key leadership, formally requesting the team revitalize its relationship with the American Indian community and rightfully change their name back to the Redskins. I thought we got rid of it because it was offending Native Americans. What do you mean that they actually want it back? So there's the actual tweet, and then that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to play a game. And then we'll read the letter below. I think they have the letter written below. Here's the letter. This is what Davidson has written to the Washington Commanders. At this moment in history, we are formally requesting that the team revitalize its relationship with the American Indian community by changing the name back to the Redskins, which recognizes America's original inhabitants, and using the team's historic name and legacy to encourage Americans to learn about, not cancel, the history of America's tribes and our role in the founding of this great nation. Should we need to encourage a national boycott similar to what happened to Anheuser-Busch, which is now down $27 billion, we will do just that, is what the letter said. The letter closed out by noting that in 2023, this oppression and arbitrary and capricious, it's not the gangling, I promise. Recognition of U.S. history and constitutional rights is not acceptable. The group also vowed to stand their ground because if we don't acknowledge history, we are doomed to repeat it. In 2020, the team announced it was removing Redskins from its name. 2 years later, it was announced that it was, okay, I had a timeline down pretty right. Name change came about from pressure from the cancel culture mob following the death of George Floyd and those who claimed that term was racist and offensive to Native American. What does that have to do with George Floyd, though? I don't know. So, and like I said, several people have been reporting this. It's been coming from what you would call, I guess, right-wing media outlets. No left-wing ones are speaking up about it. I'd like to have found something a little more in the center, just so I can kind of confirm both sides. But there's enough people reporting it. There must be truth to it. And after all, if it's posted to Twitter, it has to be true, right? It's okay. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm going to be pretty blunt. I don't know much about the Native American Guardians Association. I don't know how much pull they have amongst the Native American community in the United States. Alternatively, I don't know what people actually feel about the Commander. I know what I feel about the Commander's name and the Redskin name, but I don't know on the grand scale how the people in the NFL feel about the name change. And at the end of the day, if the team wins, does it really matter? But the Commanders aren't winning from what I checked. And their mascot's a pig, from what I can remember. Again, the mascot is a pig, and they're the football team for Washington, D.C. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. We have a Native American group who is wanting the Washington football team to return to its original title because it would honor Native American culture far better than removing it. Take that as you will. The world is such a fascinating place. It really is. I want to see what's going on over on Rumble quickly. I haven't checked Rumble in a while. I had to put so if you look over my shoulder, we have the Lord Baltimore flag. reportedly a flag used in the colony of Maryland before Maryland became a United State. Yeah, that flag got knocked down this morning by the crazy one known as Fred. You might have seen him pop up in a few of my streams, or if you've watched the Weekly Langat, he tends to pop up on the radio back here at least once. So yeah, he knocked that down before I went to work today. Didn't have time. I put it up like 2 minutes. Actually, I think I put it up as I was playing the funnies, my opening reel there for Bowman's. Let's get to Rumble. Things loading. Things going smoothly over here. Heard a little bit of noise in my micro earbuds. That was a little weird. I heard it again. Okay. Just Wrangler. Just a Wrangler in the chat. Just a Wrangler chat. Thank you for popping on to both sides, Wrangler. I appreciate that. All right. Let me navigate my way back to StreamYards. I got lost there. I'm actually running StreamYards through Microsoft Edge. I'll see if this helps a little bit for what we're about to do next. Tell me if the quality is better or worse, because we're going to be talking a little bit about music. And I'm kind of regretting talking about music. Not because I don't want to talk about the song, but because last week I shouted out to Missouri Breaks, and again, support Missouri Breaks. I got copyright claimed on that, so I lost monetization on last week's stream. I'm a little bummed, and I don't want to like mute it because it's like 3 minutes. I want you to hear the music, I'll play it, but I guess I can't have both things at the same time, and I want to shield other projects. So if it means I have to take an L, so be it. All right. Let's go over, you know where we're going with this. So, when was this? August 8th. When was August 8th? I don't know. So, last Tuesday, this dropped. Oliver Anthony, I guess you want to call a folk singer who's from Virginia. I believe he's from I want to say like the Bristol region, the southwestern corner of Virginia. The reason being, he traveled to Radio West Virginia to record this song, and then he traveled to a market in North Carolina to sing the song last weekend. So he seems to be in that Bristol area where West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina are all within an hour's drive of each other. I want to get down there sometime. Seems to be good country down there. Well, you probably have heard this song now. We're not going to play all of it. We'll just play a little bit of it. And you can't even see what I'm sharing. Perfect. Good. You don't need to see what I'm sharing. No, I don't want a second camera. I can't afford a second camera right now. Stop screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share tab. Here we are. Because I have to go in and share the tab individually so you can get the audio, and everything froze. What's going on? Nope, nothing froze. Okay. We'll just play a little bit of it because I don't want to get copyright strike. But we'll play it a little bit for you guys.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul.
Like I said, we're just going to play a little bit of it. I'm sure you've already heard the song, and if you're not, please go listen to the full song. It's on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Richmond, North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. It's right there. It's right there for you. Ooh, that's a different view. Nope. No, I don't want to look at my ugly face. I want to look at the screen. Oh, no, that's weird. What's going on? Okay, that's better. Thank God. Back to what we were doing. Okay. So Oliver Anthony released this song. It's just him singing with a guitar. That's all it is. And I think he's actually sung this song before in his own YouTube channel a little while back. This is slightly better quality because of the of the recording equipment of Radio West Virginia. But again, it's very similar to what most of his, what I've discovered most of his videos are, which is him usually playing in the woods and singing a song. And that's all the more the man needs, to be quite honest. And he's has really good lyrics, got a really good voice. That's all you more. And he got the ambiance of Appalachia. It's all the more you need to make a good song, guys. It's all the more you need. And this song is #1 on iTunes. It's charting most tops regardless of genre. This is what people are wanting to listen to here in the United States of America. Why is so many people loving this simple song? Partly it's because it's very simple. And in this day and age, how music is, it's so computerized. It's so algorithmic. The soul is sucked out of it. The corporation squeaks every ounce of roughness out of it just to make sure it'll be an absolute success. And ironically, by doing that, you go from an absolute success to an absolute failure. This is an absolute success. Just raw singing, raw instruments, raw ambiance. Now, a lot of the lyrics of the songs are alluding to current plights in America. Now, Anthony has gone on record and said that he is non-political. He is as centrist as it comes. He speaks about people, not about politics. And a lot of his lyrics are just saying what I think most people agree with. One of my favorite lines in the whole song is, I wish they would look out for minors and not minors on an island somewhere. Can't go any farther than that because it's YouTube, but I think we know what they're referring to. So it's just stuff that we're all screaming every time that I have to turn on the radio and I'm driving down to work and they just start rambling off all this gibberish that's going on down in DC or it's going in California and occurring up in New York. I don't give a darn about it. You know what's happening here in the backwoods of Pennsylvania? Gas prices are high. Food prices are high. It's costly just to go to work and come back from work. I don't care about all the political games in New York or California or what's occurring down in DC. I wish you would look after look after us here in the mountains, not for the fake world that you got down in DC. There's my rant for the evening. Go and clip that. Well, of course, and again, in my never-ending attempt, I swear, to try to kill my channel, but I love just having fun sometimes. We got to go over and read this little thing. Oh, you can't see it because I was not sharing. Now I got to share the whole page. Oh, it's just so difficult. Why must you make things difficult, StreamYards? We go to the window. Here we are. This is from The Guardian. So after Oliver Anthony's come out and repeatedly said, I am not a politician. I'm not trying to speak politics for one side. I'm speaking I just want to speak what I'm thinking and what I think is the soul of America. And he didn't even say that. He's a very humble individual from the videos I've seen. But here we have from Matthew Cantor on The Guardian, Richmond, north of Richmond, punches down. No surprise, the right wing loves it. Herky-durky-turkey. In Richmond, north of Richmond, Oliver Anthony, a bushy-beard former North Carolinian factory worker, sings passionately about working hard for bullshit pay. Armed with just a guitar and his powerful voice, he identifies the source of the problem, Richmond, north of Richmond, federal politicians who want to have total control. The song laments homelessness, folks in the streets ain't got nothing to eat, and a national suicide crisis. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. So far, so resonant. The song has collected more than 12 million views on YouTube, and actually, we're almost at 20 million views, sir. I know the article's released a few days ago. I'm just being crabby right now. But things start to feel a little less empathetic when Anthony starts complaining about the obese milking welfare, reasoning that if you're 5 foot free and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. We can all agree that politicians have caused many of America's problems. It's harder to argue that our country is being destroyed by short, overweight chocolate enthusiasts. He also rails against taxation, which means your dollar ain't shit, because your dollar, it ain't shit, folks. The supposed welfare abuse sounds like a right-wing talking point, And Anthony doesn't appear to have considered that the nefarious fudge rounds might be feeding the very people he mentioned with, oh, fuck. Can't swear. Can't go any further on the swearing department. But Anthony claims to sit pretty dead center when it comes to politics. According to a video filmed in his car the day before the video was released, I remember as a kid the conservatives wanting war and me not understanding that. And I remember a lot of the controversies when the left took office, and it seems like, both sides serve the master. I agree with that. Oliver Anthony. Still, a reference to politicians looking out for minors on an island somewhere, apparently a reference to Jeffrey Epstein's ties to elite figures, has also prompted speculation, and Anthony could be nodding to Q. Okay, I'm done reading this sucker. If you want to go read the rest of the Guardian's article, go ahead. You're grasping at straws, Matthew Cantor. You're grasping at straws, and that's all. You're grasping at straws. And I don't think the line about 5 foot free and your 300 pounds tax on not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds, I don't see that as punching down at, I guess, what the article's claiming is what Anthony's referring to as Beast People. I think it's Anthony going after the system that allows for people to, this is the only way they can make a living. That welfare only allows me to buy for crap food. I can't afford quality food to be healthier. I think that's him going after how broken the welfare system is, not going after the actual individuals that this is the only way they can get some sustenance in their system. That's just my personal opinion on it. But yeah, I'm done causing my headache. And I thought I had a little fun there, but then he decided he was going to go down a certain route that he's allowed to talk about. But, if I start talking about it, we'll be in a world of, hey, let's talk about Record of Paladins. Yeah, Record of the Paladins. Yeah, that sounds like more fun. Record of the Paladins, the exciting adaptation of the best-selling novel by Brian McCoppin. Discover the Paladins and their war against Satan and his hordes. So this is our segment of the show where I shout out a piece of culture. Granted, I guess you can consider Richmond, north of Richmond, to be my culture shout out, but nope. Actually, McCoppin's the true shout out. Yeah, he's the secret shout out. How do you feel, McCoppin? You're the secret shout out. And I think we've actually talked about his stuff before. He is currently raising funds for a comic version of his story. And let's read a little bit more into it. Demons are real. They walk this world. Satan and his legion wage a guerrilla war for the souls of men, and they do all they can to corrupt the hearts of mortals and infest their plane of existence. In war, there's only one answer: violence. One group answers the call. Record of the Paladins follows Oliver, born with the gift of predictive sight. Able to see where any person or object is going before it happens, he answers the call to adventure when he discovers he is next in a long line of blessed and holy warriors, the Paladins. In his youth, Oliver was raised by Garen, a wizened man with a mysterious past. Garen and Oliver travel the world and study the art of combat with a collection of masters and experts. Now in his 30s, Oliver has found peace running a church at the edge of the desert. That is until he's pulled back to action by the beautiful, mysterious Melissa with answers to his long-burning questions. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know, Oliver. The world may never know. Oliver is introduced to the lore of the Paladins and each of their incredible abilities. There are more paladins to find, ancient holy relics to discover, and foul creatures that inhabit the darkest parts of this world that must be vanquished, like demon beavers. Yes, those are demon beavers. Those are demon beavers. Those are demon beavers. Best-selling author Brian McCoppin and illustrator Kevin John Jacob present the adaptation of the epic novel Record of the Paladins, Book of Oliver, a tale that moves seamlessly from sprawling coming-of-age adventure to action-packed encounters with all sorts of demonic foulness. 40-plus pages of a Christ-centered, engaging, action-packed story. Full-color premium print, proudly printed in the US of A, rated teen for violence and themes. Record of the Paladins has been described as muscular Christianity at its best. Sometimes the solution to a demonic infestation is a bullet to the brain or a sword to the skull. I would highly recommend this book to any fantasy, sci-fi, Christian fantasy fiction reader, as it was a great read and cannot wait to see where the Paladins go. And there's our creative masterminds behind this comic. So the book is out already, but if you want to see it visualized, or not visualized in your head, but visualized by an artist, you can go to Fund My Comic and support Record of the Paladins, the comic version. And of course, you know, that'll be going into the comments. Yes, Scrangler, we do got us some demon beavers. We got ourselves some demon beavers. So, that's all I got to talk about, guys. Well, I do have a little bit more to talk about, but I don't have really anything to put on the screen about it. So this weekend, the plan is we're going to be doing one of our blitzes. Goal is we're going to get some content related to the Antietam campaign of 1862. Now, I can't confirm, but I'm hoping to hit sites at the South Mountain Battlefield, where on September 14th, 1862, the Union Army of George B. McClellan smashed into a fragment of Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia, catching Lee off guard and forcing Robert E. Lee to retreat to Sharpsburg, Maryland, a few miles west. On September 15th, the other 2/3 of the Army of Northern Virginia surrounded and captured the federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, known as the site of John Brown's famous raid back in 1859. John Brown, the abolitionist, who tried to wage a holy war against slavery. Didn't go the way he intended to. Still ended up with some of the outcomes he hoped to. And I'm hoping also to go and visit and do videos on John Brown while I'm down at Harper's Ferry. And then hopefully we'll get to finish up talk about Lee retreating to Sharpsburg, where on September 17th, 1862, the Battle of Antietam was waged, as McClellan threw his army piecemeal at Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army, who were straddled against the Potomac River in the bloodiest single day in American history. So I'm hoping to do videos as we try to blitz around the Antietam campaign all across Maryland and West Virginia, maybe even Virginia for a few minutes. You never know. And hopefully there'll be some new content. There'll be some different content for the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel beyond telling Western Pennsylvania history. Don't get me wrong. That's my niche. That's where I'm from. That's what I'm surrounded by. But I want to start building up. I want to build up the means that I can occasionally travel to other parts of the country and do these blitzes and then bring back to you, the viewer, me retracing these unknown parts of history, because the whole purpose of the channel is to live, preserve, and explore history. Now, if you want to help me with these blitzes, or if you just want to help me not be exhausted like I've been this evening, you may just want to give me a cup of joe in my system every morning. A couple ways you can support me. Simplest way, hit the like button. The like button down there. I know I ask you this every week during Uncut History, but I promise you, it lets YouTube know that history videos matter, or a historian rambling about gibberish matters. That sounds better. Do that. Hit the like button. Then be sure to subscribe to Readout Productions. And there's actually 2 ways to subscribe. I know I'm giving you so many options. I know humans don't like options. Go with me here. You can subscribe on YouTube, and then you should go to Rumble and support and follow my page on Rumble, because I'm hoping one day we can start, because I dual stream on both sides. So in the event that, let's say, maybe something's not working, maybe I have a bad connection with YouTube, or vice versa, I have a bad connection with Rumble, I can go to the other side and we can keep the stream up and running. And if you want to go the extra mile and supporting me, you can drop me a donation in my Ko-fi link in the description below to give me a cup of joe in the morning to keep me awake, during these blitzes. All right, and before we leave, I do have to say that at the very start of the program, Wrangler dropped a 420. Yeah, I'm trying to do it longer than Royce. All right, time to hit the music. If I can find the button. Well, we don't need to see that anymore. Time to hit the music. That wasn't the music. This is the music.